I signed 8 growth operating clients in less than 2 months, and I made well over $20,000 with just head of fees doing that. And not just for myself, I made my clients a bunch of money as well. Like I scaled one of my best clients from absolute zero to over $114,000 cash collected in 90 days. And today I'm literally going to show you exactly how I signed 8 clients starting from absolute zero, having no previous background as a growth operator. I was literally just a copywriter and I didn't know shit about what I was doing, but I somehow managed to sign 8 clients within a span of just 60 days. So the very first thing that I did, which is the most important, no matter what you do as a growth operator or no matter what business you run, the first thing is obviously going to be work ethic. If you are not able to sit down for hours and just focus on the key needle movers, so if you are literally just starting out, the biggest thing you want to do is outreach. So if you're not able to lock yourself and just do high volume all day for no result, for all day and see no results for days, weeks, whatever, you won't be able to make it. I literally used to sit in my college classes and I would just open my phone, start scrolling, and just DM whoever. I was doing well over 100 DMs every single day, and that is how I was able to sign clients at a really fast pace. I remember I signed 3 clients within like a week. All of them paid me 3 to 4K, and I made well over $10,000 in just that very week. So the most important thing, if you're starting out or even if you're like starting to sign clients or you want to sign more clients, is just going to be focusing on the biggest needle mover for you, which if you're getting started obviously is just going to be outreach or maybe posting content. But I did not post content for months and months when I got started, simply because there was no credibility, which is why doing outbound was the most logical step for me. I know a lot of people who just post content, but if you don't know shit about what you're doing, then I wouldn't suggest posting content. Once you get some results, then you can like start posting content, because then you have some credibility and you can actually attract good clients. Second thing, which is directly related to work ethic, is going to be volume. So you just gotta send more and more DMs, and also speed to lead. So if you send a message and you get replies, like let's say you get 5 replies, literally stop doing whatever you're doing and just respond to them, because these people, their DMs are absolutely flooded. So if you're taking your time responding to them after 12 hours, 14 hours, you're fucked. So you have to respond to them as fast as possible. And volume, so if you have a new account, you first have to like get started with sending, let's say, 5 DMs a day. But ideally you would want to have an aged account. You can use your private account, but have some posts in there. Your Instagram should look decent. If you're using Instagram for outreach, it should look decent in the way that you can have a few posts. You can take a look at my Instagram. I'm going to link it in the description, and you can take a look at what you can have. You can have a few reels in there. You can have maybe a couple posts that are good. And you also have to have a verified Instagram account. That's like the bare minimum. You definitely need to have a verified account. Now, the third step is once you start DMing people, they start responding you, it's going to happen that they're not going to respond to you anymore, which is why follow-ups is where the money is at. I remember following up with a client 25 times, and after that, I was able to get him on a call and close him. Excuse me for my shit handwriting. I absolutely suck at that. But yeah, anyways, follow-ups are very important. Most of the people like that I see who are, let's say, beginner growth operators, I know like about over 100 growth operators by this point, because I like joined a mentorship. Most of them do not even start sending out 5 messages, 10 messages a day, and they're wondering why I'm not able to sign a client, and they're not doing any follow-ups. So every single day they're gonna find new clients, new prospects to reach out to. They send 1 message and done. That's not how it works. Sometimes you'll have to send 10 to 20 follow-ups, sometimes even more than that, to actually land a call. And you should have clear CTAs as well. So if you have reached out to them, they respond to you, you send, let's say you use a voice note method or whatever. Also, your messages should not be shit. I used to just send a hey bro or yo whatever, and people would respond, and then I would just point out what's wrong with the funnel, and give them a clear CTA that they actually what they have to do. So you should have a CTA on your outreach, which could be to book a call with you. You can share Loom videos, you can do whatever. But as long as they're responding to you, as long as you're doing follow-ups, you will be able to sign a client. You should have clear CTAs in every step. So let's say the first message they respond to you, then you maybe send them a voice note. In the voice note, you can have a CTA that I can show you exactly what they do, and just like you can give them a CTA to respond back to you. Let's say yes. Once they respond, then you share the Loom video, and in the Loom video, you can have a direct call to action that to just book a call with you directly. Now, once they book a call with you, you have to keep them warm, so you can share some assets. So what I did was I made a post-booking pre-call page where I had a VSL, and then they would like have a bunch of results on that page as well, like whatever, right? But you need to keep them warm, and you have to make sure they show up to the call, but don't be too chalant about it. You sort of have to hold your frame, which is actually my next point. So you have to hold your frame throughout the conversation that you have with your clients, potential clients, because you are the expert. Even if you don't know shit, you have to position yourself as the expert, because if they see that you are a beginner, you have never done this before, you don't know shit about what you're doing, they will not work with you, and they can sense that. So don't keep responding. So once the call is booked, just don't be like, hey bro, I'm very excited for the call today, see you at 7 p.m. You can just send like, what I did was I literally 30 minutes before the call, I would send them a message, see you bro, see you in 30 or whatever. Or on the day of the call, I would just say that, see you on the call today bro. That is it. And my shorter was pretty good actually. I think out of all the calls I booked, like only 1 or 2 people did not end up showing and did not end up showing up. So which is very, very good. And you should have other things going for yourself, going on for yourself as well, because if you're desperate for money, desperate for clients, then again they can sense that and you won't close them. I literally used to like not give a fuck, because all day I was just outreaching, studying more stuff, learning about growth operating, what I can do for clients, which is why I did not have any desperation. And I honestly did not expect that I would make 10K in my first month. That was like crazy. Next would be the actual sales call. Now, if you want to close them, obviously you have to be decent at sales, but at the end, most of it is just like authority and showing that you can actually help them. So what you can do is you can prepare some stuff beforehand to show on the call. Maybe you make a lovable page or whatever. Maybe you design them a funnel that they can use. Maybe you can create some SOPs, show that. That could be enough. What I used to do was I used to firstly inquire about the situation, and once I had enough information, I would just pitch them that, look bro, based on this XYZ stuff, I can do this for you. And I would literally just tell the price, like let's say it was 3K, 4K, whatever. I would just say that I'm going to charge 4K for this and just shut up. In most cases, they would say that, yeah, because by the time you actually get to the close, you have to build enough authority, hold your frame throughout, and show them that they're paying you way less than the issue that you're fixing. Because if you can scale someone to, let's say, 50K a month, 30K a month, and all they have to do is pay you 4K, 5K, then you can easily justify the pricing. And you can justify the pricing by bringing more to the table. But there's only so much you can do, right? So that's why you can like be full stack or whatever. But the quality matters more. So what you can do is, if you are, let's say as a growth operator, all you're doing is just the sales management, then obviously you cannot charge as high as a growth operator. You can build out the funnel, hire the sales team, do the sales management, and let's say run a webinar for them, run a call funnel, book a call funnel, whatever, right? So the more you learn, the higher you can pitch. And do not justify the pricing, do not negotiate, because the moment you start like lowering the price, that's when you're fucked. If they are not able to pay the price, Maybe try to break it down into split payments or whatever, but do not lower your price ever. If it's 5K, then it has to be 5K. Maybe you can lower the percentage, but I wouldn't say like going anywhere below than 12 or 15%, because then you're cutting yourself too thin. Because if you scale someone to, let's say, 100K a month, you're only making 10K out of that, and they're making like fucking 90K profits. Obviously the sales team is going to take, so let's say take out another 15, they're still making 75K, and you only made 10K, and they wouldn't have made 100K in the first place if you were not in their team and you did not go through all the effort, put in this much effort to actually scale them. So that is again very, very important. But out of all of this, the most important thing is going to be work ethic and the actual volume of your outreach. And second most important could be the follow-ups. Because if you want to get to this point where you are actually able to hold frame and like hold your authority, you first have to get them on the call. And most people struggle with getting clients on the call, because as growth operators, if you probably have a sales background and you already know how to close people. So the most important thing then is to actually get people to show up to the call. And also one more important thing that I missed is the actual client. So if you're just starting out, and what I did was I signed a bunch of shit clients that would take a lot of effort to scale past 50K. So the first, let's say 5 clients that I took, all of them paid me, obviously, which is why you can do build and release as well. So you can just like set up their entire funnel, get the sales team and everything. Or maybe at the start, if they're too small, you can literally just do build and releases for them, and they can actually take the calls themselves. Because if they're getting like 1 lead a day, 2 calls a week, then obviously they don't need, no one's going to want to close for them, no one's going to want to set for them, because there is no volume, right? Which is why if they're a really small offer, you can pitch them the entire setup. And once they, let's say, scale past 10K, 20K a month, 30K a month, then you can come in and take a percentage and scale them past that. So what I did was to sign so many clients, and all of them paid me, was I went for clients who have many and their accounts were smaller. So what I went for people with, let's say, anywhere between 1,000 to like 10,000 followers, and some of them did not even sell high ticket, right? And all these people were making money from what they actually did, which is why they had the money to actually invest into a service like this. Because obviously if someone is making like 2K a month from their, let's say, with trading, then obviously they cannot pay you 5K. But if a trader is making 50K, 60K a month, even 30K a month, then they can easily pay you 5K for your service, and the return will get justified in the long run, which you obviously are going to convey them right at the start, that this is going to be a long-term thing, and we are going to eventually scale you past that number. But by having the right system set from the start, you are setting up yourself for the future. You are like future-proofing yourself. You won't need another team, because we are going to be working with you. We are going to take you from absolute 0 to 100K. But obviously that is like a long-term thing. And at one point you can just like ditch them. You want to start signing bigger clients. But if you are a good growth operator and you have spent like months scaling them, then obviously you can go past that number, and you can even like run ads or whatever, run profile ads to increase your organic following as well, which in the long run is gonna contribute. And obviously there's like no offer owner is born with like 1 million followers. Everyone starts from 0, right? Which is why you can like put in the effort. Especially if you're getting starting out, like you have nothing to lose. Even if you're signing like 2 clients a month, which is very, very easy, and you charge them a modest fee of 5K, that is 10K a month. And in this business, honestly, you should be eyeing 100K, 50K months, because 10K is like honestly nothing. You sign 2 clients and you're at 10K a month. You should be focusing on getting good clients, but obviously that comes later down the line. At the start, you can afford to work with shit clients, but I wouldn't suggest going just for a rev share unless the client is really good. So if you are sure that you can scale them past 20K, 50K, 100K, then you can just take a rev share. But these clients are harder to sell if you're a beginner, which is why you can go for smaller clients, charge them a modest fee of, let's say, 3K. Even 2.5k is good. And yeah, that's literally how I signed 8 clients in 60 days and made well over 20k just in setup fees. And then from the commissions as well, I made good money. So now my agency is on track to do multiple 6 figures this year just because I put in the work. And all these steps were dialed in right from the start. Even when I was a complete beginner, I had the confidence, the authority, and held my frame from the start, which is why these clients had no issues paying me, and I positioned myself as an expert because I was one. And even if you're not one, you have to like always appear bigger than you are no matter what you do. And eventually, like once you get there, then obviously you're gonna have that naturally. So yeah, that is pretty much it. If you have any questions about the strategy, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'm gonna link my Instagram in the description. And if you wanna watch a case study on how I scaled my client from absolute zero to 114k in just about 90 days, that's also gonna be provided. That's like the second video that I posted, so you can take a look.